Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. So Manitoba Start is the leading provider of career services to newcomers in the province of Manitoba and connects businesses to a world-class workforce. I would like to welcome you all to this Labor Market Connection webinar, a series of live broadcasted events designed to assist you in entering the Manitoba labor market. Before we start, though, I would like to do the land acknowledgement, as we usually do. So, Manitoba Start acknowledges that we are gathered on Treaty 1 territory, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, Dakota Ote, Danusilene, and Netanawuk nations, and the homeland of the Red River Métis. We acknowledge that our water is sourced from Shoal Lake 41st Nation. As a newcomer organization, we commit to learning about the histories, cultures, and rights of the Indigenous communities to strive to build a respectful and supportive relationship to all. My name is Petropanin. Uh, Petropanin, and easy to remember, like Petrogan at the gas station, as I was saying. And I'm a job developer here at Manitoba Start, and I'm a job developer in construction sector, production, transportation, and logistics sector. So in the future, we can connect if you're looking for jobs in this sphere. And I will be the host for today's webinar, and it's a special honor for me because the topic is about engineering in construction. This is amazing. So today's webinar is focusing on the Manitoba Construction Sector Council. Given the large number of participants who joined this webinar, we have muted your microphones to allow for better clarity and less interference. So before we actually begin, I will go over a couple of housekeeping items. Actually, this is the agenda for our webinar today. So we will have welcome remarks, information about Manitoba Start. You already heard that. Introduction of panelists. Today, panelist is Ramir Diaz, our frequent guest at Manitoba Start. So then you will hear the presentation of the partner himself from Ramir. And then we will have Q&A session and wrap up as a result. Okay, a little bit about how you can ask questions after the presentation itself. So you just need to raise your hand to ask verbally. We will unmute you in this case. So use the raise a hand feature to indicate that you have question, or click on the participants button in the meeting controls, find the raise hand icon next to your name and click on it. Wait for the host to call your name to ask your question. So then, or you can also type your question in Q&A. So click on the more options, 3 dots on the upper panel. So find that button in the meeting controls and select Q&A, then type your question. During our Q&A, we will try to answer as many of your questions as time permits, but we have way many participants, but we will do our best. But in the future, you can also connect with us and we can help you, either Ramir or myself, or our qualification recognition in engineering in construction sector, Joe, who you probably heard about. And yeah, so how to ask questions from mobile devices. So raise a hand to ask verbally, use the hand symbol. It's a little bit, you see, a little bit different, but still same logics. Use the hand symbol on the bottom of the screen, wait for the host to call your name to ask question, or type your question in Q&A. Use the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. So you see, so it's pretty similar to computer version. Okay, and yeah, perfect. So now before we actually go to the next slide that I just turned over, let's go back. And I would like to run a poll for us before we start. On the screen, you will see now 4 questions, one after another. You will have 30 seconds to click yes or no or some other options, and then done, and we will see what is the result of the poll. All right, so let's start the first question. And remember, you are having 30 seconds. So let me start that. All right, so are you registered with Manitoba Start? Please click yes or no, and we will see the percentage of that. So we have like 15 seconds left. All right, 7 seconds left. Okay, let's submit it. See the result. All right, 86% of people are registered with Manitoba Star, and this is incredible. And 40% are potential our clients. So please go to our website and you can pre-register there, or you can come in person from Monday to Thursday. Remember that Friday is a virtual day for us. We work remote on that day. So, but if you come physically from 8:30 until 4, better before 4, because we close at 4:30, you will have a chance to register at Manitoba Start as well. Perfect. So thank you for your answers. Let's go to the next question. So, and the next question. The next question, do you need help with the resume, cover letter, or interview preparation? So it concerns everybody, whether you're registered with Manitoba Start or not. So please check your option and submit it. You have some more time left. Right. 5 seconds left. Submitting it. Okay, let's see. So 67% do need, and 33% are already experts in that, and this is perfect. This is amazing. We are happy that you know how to do that. But remember, even if, for example, you came from another country and you think, okay, I have the resume, or somebody help you with that. Remember that every single time when you are applying for another company, or even another position in the same company, you will need to tailor your resume. So if you don't know that, I would still recommend you connect with our amazing career coaches. All right, so let's go with the next question. Okay, very interesting question. A very interesting question. So where are you joining us from today? Ooh, Northern Manitoba. Southern Manitoba. Maybe you're from Winnipeg, like Ramir and myself. Maybe you are somewhere in another country, still there, but on your way here. All right, you have like 5 seconds left to choose your option. All right, let's see. Let's see. So interesting. Wow, 100% of people are from Winnipeg. Perfect. Hello, hello, people from Winnipeg. Hope to see you one day in person. All right, and now the last question. The last question. Okay, so what is your reason for attending this webinar? Are you an international educated professional? Or are you a settlement worker? Are you a career coach? Or somebody else? So let me check. Oh, there is no option for myself. I guess I'm other. So I'm taking part in that poll as well. So I'm now submitting. Okay, hope you're ready. Okay, let me give you 4 more seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it was faster. Okay, submitting. So, all right. So 64% are internationally educated professionals. This is great. So we have some career coaches, 80%, 18, not 80, 18. And we have 18% of other professionals, other people. Thank you very much. So much appreciated. All right, so thank you very much for the participation in our poll. And now let's continue with the most interesting part. So today's session is about Manitoba Construction Sector Council. So the Manitoba Construction Sector Council, the Industry Human Resource Council, acts as a federation of its current four industry and Indigenous advocacy associations in developing the future potential of the organization and new robust network of partnerships in communities will enhance its capacity to meet its vision of the future. So this session will cover overview of the construction sector in Manitoba Start, engineering career pathways in Manitoba, labor market trends, employer expectations, potential employers for newcomer engineers in Manitoba, and Q&A with Manitoba Construction Sector Council representative Ramir Diaz. So please welcome our very dear friend and partner Ramir Diaz, who is running so many projects with us, and not only with us, but with so many agencies here in Manitoba. And the virtual stage is yours, Ramir. I'm stopping sharing my presentation for now, and I will continue that after yours. So, and please feel free to share your presentation now. And now let's welcome Ramir Diaz.
Thank you, Petro. It's always a pleasure to be presenting here with Manitoba Start. I know, wow, I see everybody here. There's a lot of entries here. So, okay, I'm going to start sharing my screen and hopefully it works out. But please give me a thumbs up, Petro, if my screen is visible on your end.
Absolutely. It's
okay,
all
now
good.
I can't see anything.
I can see that.
You see it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it at this screen or at this slideshow because this is what the main meat and potatoes are about. So, yeah, I want to welcome everybody to attending this this presentation again in partnership with Manitoba Start. I am the Education and Training Manager for Manitoba Construction Sector Council, and I'm just going to go through my slideshow because a lot of it has already a bunch of stuff here. Let's just make sure it works. Okay, so Petro already did the introductions. This is kind of like the agenda I kind of had on my end. Looks pretty identical. We did our Indigenous land acknowledgement. Thank you, Petro. I acknowledge that as well, and kind of likewise. So here we are. So what we see here in front of your screens today is, you know, Manitoba Construction Sector Council logo and the Trade Up Manitoba logo. So for those that are new to this presentation or new about hearing Manitoba Construction Sector Council, what we do at the Sector Council is promote the construction industry to underrepresented groups. So when I say that, we're talking underrepresented groups, including newcomers and immigrants, Indigenous individuals, women that are looking to get into construction, and also youth that are 30 years and under. So we are not a construction company, and we're not also a recruiting agency, but again, we support those that want to get into the pathway of construction. We are the liaison between education and employment. So that's kind of where we stand. In our websites or Manitoba Construction Sector Council, there's a lot of supports and resources, lots of training updates, lots of events that are happening, and it's all showcased on our websites. We also have our Trade Up Manitoba website, which is the sister company. But what we do there is provide supports as well, career pathways, resume, workshop information, informations for students, and informations for facilitators and instructors as well. That being said, you can also follow us on social medias as well under Trade Up Manitoba. We also have a YouTube page with a lot of videos and information as well. Again, look up Trade Up Manitoba. All right, so as you can see, these are kind of the main pillars of Manitoba Construction Sector Council. I am the pillar with connecting with newcomers and immigrants. We do have an Indigenous liaison, a community and youth liaison, and also our executive director is always looking out for our women that want to get into construction, that are already in construction and want to continue in the pathway as well. Before I forget, we are having our Women in Trades conference coming up in November of this year. So that's kind of one big event that we're gearing up for and getting all lined up for that big day. Okay, so before I move on, because I did a little research, on the back end of things, and I'm gonna disclaim as myself that I am not an engineer myself. I am in the construction trades, and I am a licensed electrician. I have my red seal. I've been through the apprenticeship program. I've worked in residential, commercial, and industrial electrical type of employments. I've done it with non-union and unionized employers. So I have the skills, the knowledge, expertise, a background in electrical construction, not in engineering. But it was nice to see that there are so many different paths in the engineering field, whether it's chemical or petroleum or hardware. There's many different ways that that engineers can kind of expand on. But I think I'm going to be focusing more on the civil and the I think it's mechanical engineering. But yes, there's there's so many different, and wow, it's interesting to know that I can probably go into that if I decide to continue my education. Because again, for me, always continuous learning is the way to go, whether it's here with MCSC or on my own or from traveling or whatever. Always learning about different experiences and different things. It's always kind of a passion of mine. All right, so yes, there are many different pathways in Manitoba for engineers. Okay, there are the labor market trends. I'm going to go over some employer expectations and potential employers for newcomer engineers here in Winnipeg and also in Manitoba. Let me just move my screen here. Okay, so labor market trends, employer expectations, upskilling. We'll talk about that in the following slides. So by the end of this session, we're going to look at, again, current labor market trends in the province, what employers look for when hiring engineers. I'm going to also showcase some employers in Winnipeg and talk about rural Manitoba, and then some of the training that's available as well through Manitoba Construction Sector Council. Okay, so what we have is, now that it's the new year of 2026, can't believe it's already mid-March or very close to mid-March, but there is always a steady demand in infrastructure and construction and manufacturing here in Manitoba. There are current engineers that have been in the field for quite some time. So there is going to be, the replacement demand due to these retirements coming up. Okay. And that's for anybody. It doesn't have to be local, but it's for anyone that has that background. Now, just talking about the province-wide, Winnipeg, because it's I guess the province capital, the city itself holds the majority of the provincial engineering jobs. But there are also rural engineering positions as well. And that specifies in the infrastructure and industrial sectors. So I'll be kind of talking about that a little bit more in the upcoming slides. In terms of civil engineering trends, it's always a strong sector because there's always infrastructure and transportation type of things happening around the city. And, whether you are listening to what the premier is saying or what the mayor is saying, you should always keep an eye on what type of trends our politicians and our city representatives are looking into. And with the support and assist of the city's terms of providing information to how the city could look like, that's where the engineering, architects, and whatnot take place. So the strong sectors are also in the water and wastewater systems, in construction and project management, and also in the municipal development side. So the outlook again is moderate to good demand in Winnipeg. Now you can't compare Winnipeg to hustle and bustle cities like Toronto or Vancouver. I mean, we do have a moderate demand, and it's out there, but it does take a bit of time. Okay. And again, with the ongoing public infrastructure investments, that's where you want to kind of take a key look into what's happening now, what's current, what the city's saying, and what's available also across the province. So keep an open eye on that. Okay, now when it comes to mechanical engineering trends, again, if we're looking at manufacturing, industrial systems, HVAC, and building systems, there's also the agricultural and heavy equipment side of things, and also the transportation and aerospace and supply chain side of engineering. So if there's, mechanical engineers have a broad spectrum of employment, these are kind of the key sectors to look into. Don't just look into one, because yes, we are construction. We do the heavy equipment, we do construction, but manufacturing also is a different sector. Industrial systems can fall into construction, also HVAC and building systems, but for transportation, aerospace, and supply chain, those are also different sectors as well. And you can find the different sectors in the province of Manitoba website under Sector Council Program. So that's what you type into the keyword when you go into the province of Manitoba website, official website. So the outlook again for mechanical engineerings are stable demand in the Winnipeg region, and there's also opportunities in both the private and public sectors. So I guess I have a little footnote down on the bottom, the difference between a public sector and a private sector, and I'm sure you know what that's about. Okay, so so I'm going to talk about the professional licensing, and I'm sure most of you already know about the Engineer Geoscientists of Manitoba website and who they are and what they do, so I'm not going to go over that. So the main key points is, your professional engineering is required for the signing authority, and many employers, and it doesn't matter what sector, but they do prefer licensed or engineer in training status individuals. So if there's something you want to put into your resume and that you've already kind of went through the Engineer Geoscientist Manitoba website and gone through that process, make sure that it is, when you're applying for a specific engineer position, that your status is stated on your resume or CV. And also early registration improves your competitiveness as well. So the sooner you get that done, and for those that maybe are planning to come here to Manitoba, is they can do this even abroad before they come here. You don't have to wait till you get here to get that process going as well. But there are key steps in this process. And again, so the first step is identifying the regulatory body here in Manitoba. It's the Engineers Geoscientists of Manitoba. There's also the academic assessment portion where you must prove your engineering degree is equivalent to a 4-year Canadian undergraduate degree. This often involves a course-by-course assessment by services like World Education Services, who assesses that. And if your degree is not directly recognized, you may have to write some technical exams. But again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just kind of footnoting what employers have mentioned for me to state. So there is also a work experience portion to it, and generally it'd be 4 years of experience is required, with at least 1 year in Canadian environment under the supervision of a professional engineer. Now, I get that some don't have this 1 year experience, and that's okay, as long as you specify that you do have international experience. That would kind of be noteworthy when you do have your interview. And there are provinces like Ontario that no longer mandate the 1 year Canadian experience. And it's more, again, focusing on competency-based assessment of your overall experience. Okay. Now, the other thing that employers need to assess as well, and this could be through an interview, is language proficiency. So here in Manitoba, here in Winnipeg, the main language here is English. So if your CLB is on the lower side, and it could be on the high 6 or 7s, but to be, a engineer in Winnipeg, Manitoba, or in the province, the English has to be within an 8, even a 9. 9 is better to demonstrate proficiency in English. And again, although English is the main language, having French or being bilingual is also an asset as well. So don't forget to put that in your resume. And professional practice exam. So you must pass the National Professional Practice Exam. Again, it covers the knowledge of law, ethics, and professional standards in Canada. Okay. And then the other thing is good character and reference. So you must provide references and evidence of good character. So again, that takes time to build and to trust. So networking, connecting with individuals within your field is always a good segue into the profession as well. Okay, so I talked about what employers are looking for in terms of the process, but they also, a couple more things here I wanted to include is the accredited engineering degree. So that's, again, something that has to go through the governing body. Experience, again, it's relevant technical experience. Canadian workplace exposure is always preferred, but if you have international, I'm sure that also brings a different dynamic to the table in terms of, where you've been, what kind of projects, what international projects that are known worldwide that could add relevance to your portfolio. Okay. And then also some technical skills, again, knowledge of Canadian codes and standards. Again, software proficiency could be AutoCAD, could be SolidWorks, could be Bluebeam, many different types of engineering software out there. And if you have it, please showcase that onto your resume CV as well. And then if you have a portfolio or project documentation of skills that you can provide, employers, would be open to viewing that and seeing like where you've been, what you've done, and what kind of projects you've had, even prior to starting with your potential employer to be. Okay, so aside from the professional side of things, there are also those soft skills that employers value. So soft skills include, the understanding of the language of English, and it has to be, you have to be proficient both in written and in verbal. Okay. Also team collaboration, being able to work with others and share ideas and collaborate with others. That doesn't matter which hierarchy or what level you're at, but just being a team player, collaborating and learning and providing input is always a good way of providing that segue into that reference. Problem-solving mindset, always thinking outside the box, and if you have a better idea, again, sharing that with the team collaboration. Ability to handle pressure professionally. So again, that's all part of the ethics and understanding that it could be stressful at times, but being being cool, calm, and collective during those high pressure moments, add to your character of being professional within that trade. And again, the adaptability to Canadian workplace culture. So whether you have those skills from abroad or local experience, those technical skills should get you hired, and the professional portion maintains you staying employed once you're in. All right, so I'm going to talk about large employers in Winnipeg. So you can take note here that the major engineering firms, again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is not the complete list, but this is a good start. If you do look at Manitoba Hydro or the City of Winnipeg, there are positions available. Also, if you look into New Flyer Industries, I just recently showed there, it shows that there are several engineering positions within New Flyer. Select your region, and it would be Manitoba, Winnipeg, and there are positions open, and also province of Manitoba. So again, I know most of everybody here with the poll that everyone's from Winnipeg, but if there are those that don't mind, being outside of the city, could be in Lockport, could be in Selkirk, could be in Portage la Prairie, which are not too far. There are some positions as well within those towns. Okay, so medium and small size employers. Again, this is across Winnipeg and parts of rural Manitoba. There are engineering consulting firms, construction companies, municipal governments, manufacturing facilities, industrial service companies. Again, this is kind of your lead to research which pathway you want to go. Yes, obviously we want to maintain the construction portion of it, but there are also these other firms, companies, facilities that are kind of transferable within your field of expertise in engineering. Okay, smaller firms may offer faster entry opportunities for employers as well, as a side note. Those are like the few hidden gems. But what I'm going to do in the next slide is showcase here engineering firms that have networked with Manitoba Construction Sector Council and have gained employment with these engineering firms. KGS Group, SMS Engineering, ACOM, Stantec, CGM Engineering, Dillon Consultant, Barnes and Duncan. This is just, again, a tip of the iceberg of employers. Now, you do need to do more research. And again, I mentioned in my last slide that smaller firms may offer faster entry opportunities for newcomers. That could be the case as well. And sometimes I don't hear that because it comes so fast, they're already employed, and then they're off the ground running away, and in terms of employment. So if anybody does get employed from a smaller firm, reach out to me, and I'd be glad to showcase that as well, and share that engineering firms are out there employing newcomers and immigrants as well. Okay, so now going outside of Winnipeg, there are opportunities in rural Manitoba for engineers. Potential sectors include the municipal infrastructure sector, in agricultural engineering department. Water treatment facilities are also a good one, and regional construction projects. And there are, lots of projects happening in Brandon, in Selkirk, in Thompson, different places like that across the province as well. If you go into smaller communities, there are projects there as well, and most likely those could also be found in the city, and then traveling to those parts of all over Manitoba. Advantages for working, outside of Winnipeg, rural Manitoba, is there's less competition. The responsibilities are more broader, and it's also faster career progression. So you may leave for, if you're able to leave for 2 years, come back into the city with your experience from the province, and again, it progresses from that momentum as well. So keep an open mind. Opportunities in rural Manitoba, if you're able, definitely look into it. Okay, so now we're at the point where we're talking about upskilling and job readiness. Like MCSC provides trainings for our individuals and patients and clients. We do have different types of programs available. I do have job readiness certificates. Now, those are more for our northern communities or isolated communities outside of Winnipeg. We have our new construction supervisor AI training. That's one that we can do online. We have English for construction purposes for those that are wanting to brush up on their English. Again, it is not necessarily a basic English course, but it's more on the construction terminology, the construction vocabulary, the construction culture of that nature for English. So it kind of gives you the lingo of how things are referenced in English in construction sites. And then we also have construction safety certifications through Construction Safety Association of Manitoba. We have construction related micro credentials through our partners with MITT and soon to be Assiniboia Community College, and then also Winnipeg Construction Association online training as well. So lots of training to be had with networking with Manitoba Construction Sector Council. Now, just a footnote in terms of training, as we provide as much training to our clients and to our individuals that look for training, we're always open to that. As this month is the month of March and it is the fiscal year end, our new training dollars begin next month, which is April. So definitely for those that want to take up training, I am open to providing that training again come next month, April 2026. Just a footnote on that. We can do a individual basis. We can also do a group basis. All right. And again, upskilling always good because it builds Canadian workplace knowledge. So you learn about the different laws, the codes, the ethics that are part of the local training. It also improves your communication confidence. Now, I know a lot of the training could be online and could just be reading. But for me, when I try to read and understand instead of just looking at it, I try to verbally read out loud as I do it so that it helps my self speaking and also enunciation. And again, for those that as English is not the main language, you're already ahead because you're already speaking many languages, your native language and things like that. For me, I'm also, even though my main language is speaking English, I do speak Filipino Tagalog when I'm at my parents' place because they speak that. I took French as part of my early years of learning, so I'm not necessarily bilingual, but I do understand. Sometimes my dad speaks in Spanish because he's like our heritage is also of the Spanish background. And my brother-in-law is Korean, so he's teaching me a little bit of Korean as well from time to time. And FYI, I'm going to Japan this end of March, and I'm trying to learn a couple things myself just so that I know how to communicate in a different country. So always good.
And Euromir definitely put it on your resume if you need one, right? Or LinkedIn profile for sure, right? As an asset.
Absolutely.
And you, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about that real strength of yours. That's so
Absolutely.
great that you pointed out, Ramir.
Hmm. Okay, and then upskilling again adds local credentials to your resume, and it also expands your professional network. Meaning, when you take these courses, you take it with others, and it's always something to side chat about. So yeah, don't forget about upskilling. Okay, so again, practical strategies for success. Step one, register with Engineers Geoscientists of Manitoba. Petro reminded everyone about Joe DiCurzio. He kind of has the information on that. Improve your communication and documentation skills. Gain Canadian experience. Again, whether you have like a temp job, whether it's in retail or other, there's nothing wrong with gaining the work experience and the work culture of any employment, whether it's an internship or a contract or even volunteer experience. And a footnote here: volunteer experience can be through Habitat for Humanity. They provide, you know, you register, select a day, they'll provide the safety equipment for you, but you can have a chance to network, meet engineers, meet architects, meet laborers, meet skilled tradespersons. Now, it's going to vary from day to day when you go, but it's a good networking opportunity, and you never know when you decide to have coffee with someone, they can probably provide more information and information for you to get into these leads that you're looking for. So again, always network with anybody and everybody. And then also, again, consider rural or smaller employers for entry roles as well, whether it's a EIT, engineer in training, or a technician position as well. Okay, so then this is pretty much my wrap-up message, is that everybody that's in this presentation today, you have your engineering background from back home. So I commend you for having that, but just keep in mind that you are not starting over just because you came to a new country. You have those credentials. You just have to get that all kind of get that equivalency thing up to date with the governing body. And then also what you have is you're building on your experience that you already have before coming here. So that's the main points. So again, licensing, local training, professional communication, and your persistence will get you further ahead of everybody. And this is for everybody that's already in this presentation. So that being said, I look forward to all of you successfully transitioning into Winnipeg or Manitoba's engineering workforce.
Wow, that's amazing. Is it the final? Is it the final slide, Ramir?
I actually have a couple more things I wanted to
Perfect.
throw in here before I
No,
go into the question
yeah,
and
sure.
answer period, but I just wanted to share that for those that may be on EIA or Employment and Income Assistance, we actually have some training programs happening right now that, well, we have our framing, glazer, and water and waste training already in session, but there's still room for heavy construction, introduction to heavy construction, drywall training, and painting program. And the dates are kind of starting March 30th, April 27th, May 25th. Although you may not be on EIA, but if you know anybody on employment and income assistance, please share this training because it's actually absolutely free for those that apply and register for it. The training is included, the tools are included, the personal protective equipment are included as part of the training package at no cost to those that register, but they have to be on EIA. Okay, and then the other slide I wanted to share here is other construction companies and affiliates that have hired newcomers as well. So again, I know we're focusing on engineers, but Collier's could be a good way to segue into it. Qualico is also a good one. Graham Construction, Sigfuzzer Northern, Tricor Projects, All Weather Windows, Voxel Construction, Bird, PCL, you name it. They hire. They're a very diverse group of companies and employers, and they look to hire Indigenous women, youth, newcomers into their community.
All right.
All right, I'll leave it at
Perfect.
that with questions.
Perfect.
But
Amazing.
again,
Thanks. Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Now, I just wanted to say, for those that are going to ask me questions, if it's specific to engineering, I may not have the direct answer, but I'll look into it and try to get a possible response.
Absolutely. And even if we don't have all the answers to these kind of questions, we have, as we mentioned a couple of times, yeah, Joe, who is the expert in that, and he works in Manitoba Start, and you can be booked an appointment with him by our career coaches. So there is always a way out, right? Okay, thank you so much, Ramir. I'm just amazed how productive you are with your slides. So many slides, so much of information, really useful information,
Yes.
and yeah, absolutely. And now we will see the questions. So Thank you, Ramiro, for doing that. And now we will open it up to the audience. So I know that we have questions, right? So as you remember, you are using the Q&A button that you click, but I can also see that some of you guys wrote in chat. Try to write your questions all there in Q&A session, of not to be missed. So we will do our best to answer as many as we can, but probably we will see. Okay, so we
Hey,
just need to
feedback or comments are also acceptable as well. So
exactly.
anything like that.
Okay, I can see this first question that was here in chat. There are so many questions. So could you please advise whether you gonna share this PowerPoint with us? Ramir, are you gonna share that with the participants?
I will send it to you and then you can go from there. Absolutely.
Sure, sure. Okay, so we can actually do that. So do you give official permission to share that? Or,
Yeah, I'll set it
it's
up
better
as
to be
I'll
used
set it
for.
up as a PDF, and then it's kind of like
Sure.
you just scroll through it. I'll provide that information. Absolutely.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So let me now jump into our Q&A questions first part. And so you can also ask questions by raising your hands, and we will unmute you, and you can just say that using your voice. Okay, so we actually have one one question in our Q&A, and then I will jump back to the chat. So there are free trainings. All those are so there are free trainings, and those are certificable. This is a question.
Yes,
So
there are certificates for the trainings. Absolutely. So
hmm,
whether they take the Winnipeg Construction Association training, there is a certificate provided, and when we connect, I can also print it out for them, but they do receive a digital one as well through their email.
For sure. All right. Thank you very much, Ramir. Okay, next question. Could you please share the presentation? Again, the same question. So, all right. Any resume samples for Canadian job market? Resume and templates. That's a
So
good
that's
question.
kind of personable because again, I'm not an engineer, so I don't have a template specific for engineering, but I can definitely source one out from a contact that is an engineer and see what their template looks like. And if I can share that one, I'll send it over
Mhm.
to you, Petro, and then we can kind of
Sure.
continue on from there.
And I'm not sure if that's specifically about engineering types of resumes. Maybe it's more a general type. So if it's like that, you can also address our career coaches who are
Mm,
experts in different kinds of resumes. We have, different templates. So please address our career coaches if you are not registered. So I will let you know how to do that again. Okay, what ETA? What is ETA? Ah.
for me, ETA is estimated time of arrival, but
Hmm.
if it's a EIT, could that
Yeah,
be engineer in training?
probably it was about engineering training, I guess. It's a little bit different acronym, right?
Yes,
Engineer in training, it would be EIT.
that's
Maybe you are
correct.
meaning that one. Okay. Amazing presentation. Thanks. Oh, I like this comment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Woon. I do agree that. Muy bien. Okay. So what language is that? Muy bien. Spanish? Can you elaborate for project management positions? Is P&G is must have. Hmm.
I
Is
believe
P
yeah, for those that are engineering and also have project management background, the two kind of correlate with each other as well. So, there could be a whether it's a position in project management or in engineering or both. It's an engineer does manage a
hmm,
project, hence project
uh,
management as well.
sure, perfect. Is PMP certification enough, right?
That depends on the employer itself. That
Right.
Yeah, it's not specific to you have to
Always,
have
yeah.
it, but if you have it, it's good to have as an asset. Some
Sure.
employers might not be looking for that. They just want to make sure that you have your license and you're good to go. Others may be very specific, but again, it depends on the employer and what their hiring statutes are when they hire.
Sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. So much according to the employer. Absolutely right. So check job description, and then you will understand if you need that or not. So is it possible to have a volunteer as civil engineering in a company here in Winnipeg? What an interesting question.
So that depends again on the employer. It's because some of them may be um, right directly at a trailer or a construction site. Sometimes there are liability issues. So it depends again on the specific employer if that's one thing that they're open to doing in terms of job shadowing or providing that. But we've tried this before, but if it's not through a certified, I guess, institute that provides that, um, most likely no, but there are exceptions as well.
Exactly. So keep networking as Ramir suggested, right? Network with people in different social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook. So the companies are there. You find people there and ask them. Yeah, think outside the box and ask questions outside the box. You never know, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Next question is from Claudia. Claudia is asking, is it possible to transition into the construction industry in Manitoba if I have experience in another industry such as oil and gas and I'm already registered as engineering training? During my job search, I found all jobs with the required experience in construction, even entry-level jobs.
So the answer always is yes. Expand your network as well, and I'm glad that you're part of the construction sector for engineering. But if you have transferable skills from other sectors, it's there are and the options are there for application. I would just say go for it. Now, if you're waiting for
Exactly.
specific ones in construction, keep an eye out. Keep your LinkedIn open. There are information. I don't know if I can share something else, but in my actual work email, my LinkedIn is connected to that, and I'm just trying to see if I can kind of click on this without
I'm so happy
disturbing.
about these questions, Ramiro, you
Yeah.
know what, that Winnipegans, yeah, Manitobans are so open to see if you have skills, yeah, relevant skills, and people are pretty open. Sometimes it's really specifically, you need to have that years of experience exactly there, but sometimes you can connect so many skills.
And I'm just looking at my LinkedIn here, and it says job alerts for field engineers. So Stantec
Hmm.
is looking for junior environmental technicians.
Hmm.
Dillon Consulting is looking for a surveyor. Manitoba Hydro is looking for electrical distribution engineer. Stantec again,
Yeah,
environmental professional, contaminated sites project manager, and also Bell, technicians, technicians across the board, across the province. So that's
sounds
just
good.
one of my LinkedIn emails that I get. If
You
you're
see?
following any of those companies, they will send you notifications if you have your notifications on for the employer portion of it. And anytime it says, here's a new position with Bird Construction, I get that in my email right away. So
Hmm.
if you're following them, you will get those notifications. Not saying that you have to turn on everything, but turn on notifications for specific employers that you're interested in, and they should, once they come out, you get notified
Sure.
instantly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Armir, this is just amazing. The next question is very relevant to the previous one, and it is asked by Angel Clemeno, who is having very big muscles and who can lift a cow. And he's asking, I have no construction labor experience. How can I get experience here in Winnipeg?
So if you're an engineer and you just want to get into construction, there are different different, I guess, job search engines. Like we have our job board as well on our MCSC, Manitoba Construction Sector Council website that shows most of our clientele are entry level position employment. So if you network with me, we can see what we can do in terms of getting some general labor or entry level type roles in construction for you to work on those muscles to make them extra bigger.
Okay, perfect, Ramir. Thank you so very much. I can see that we have about 7 more questions. I have a quick question to you. Can
Yes.
you please answer them maybe later to those participants somehow, maybe by email or what is it possible? Because we are running out of time now. We have 1
Okay.
hour left.
Yep.
Yeah, we can follow up with
Absolutely.
you. So please write those questions to me so I wouldn't lose your questions. You can email to me at petro.panin at manitobastar.com. And I will definitely send those questions over to Ramir, and he will respond to all of these questions that we didn't have time for. But thank you very much for this question. So it's just in the chat. My email is there. And by the way, before we finish, also please keep track. Ramir, yeah, thank you so very much, sir. You are doing fantastic job as always. And you know we collaborate with Ramir so often. And right now he's running that amazing Manitoba Construction Sector Council Construction Supervisor AI online course, and I can see that some of the participants there are here in our meeting today, and this is amazing. This is another initiative of Ramir, and there are gonna be way more different other events like that and programs like that, and yeah, so let me share my presentation now.
Okay, I'll
Ramir, your
stop.
presentation is breathtaking as always. Seriously, no flattering here. I'm always amazed how you present, and yeah, a lot of clients learn so much from you and are connected with so many companies from you by you. Yeah, and so much appreciated. So let me share my my presentation with you again, and. All right, so let me quickly jump to the slide that we stopped on. So, yeah, would you please, ladies and gentlemen, scan this QR code, yeah, and answer some of the questions for our survey. This is so very important. Thank you for choosing actual Manitoba Start because our services are free and funded by Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC. So familiar to everyone here, I guess, and the province of Manitoba. So your feedback plays an important role in helping us improve and continue to provide high quality services. This is short 3-minute survey. It will help us understand your experience and ensure we are meeting the needs of newcomers, of you guys. So your responses are confidential and will only be reported in uh, aggregate without identifying you in any way. So the QR code is here. If you cannot actually scan that, I'm gonna share that with you in our chat that you were asking questions in. So it's right there. If it's easier for you, please do that. So while you're doing that survey, I'm just closing our presentation, but I'm gonna show you several more important things. So about the website. So let me stop sharing the presentation again, and let me start sharing my screen. Okay, actually, I will save some time. I will not. So you will see, you see the screen from our website, and if you go to the section upper left button for newcomers, and you just can go there and register, pre-register for online services for those who are not registered with us yet. Yeah, and so you will pre-register, then you will get a call from our intake team. They will set another in-person or online meeting that will take you about 1 hour and 30 minutes, and you will be assigned a career coach, and you will get a lot of help from our organization. So you will have personalized career coaching. You will have developing of your resume. You will be helped with job search. And if you are becoming that job ready candidate, you will be referred to our job matching unit, and you can be recommended by us to some employers. And we do our best to cover all these sectors, but I specifically cover, as I mentioned, production, construction, transportation, logistics. And if you go to our calendar, you see to the right, the one before the last one, events. If you click there, you will see the calendar with our events. And you will see that on March 25th, we are hosting a super event that is called Production Job Fair. Actually, this is more even hiring event. We will have 4 amazing companies here. One of them was mentioned by Ramir, by the way, New Flower Industries. Also, we'll have Monarch Industries, we'll have IVC Vita Health, and we will have supply chain company that is called Cisco. And mostly these are kind of entry-level positions that we will have there. So please contact me. I'm the person to be contacted for this event, because I will pre-screen the candidates. Only selected candidates for whom those companies are great will be selected, and who have the skills that are needed to these companies. For example, Monarch Industries will need laborers, machine operators, CNC setup operators. IVC Vita Health would need just packaging team members, and Flower Industries would be interviewing for assistant production worker, preparation painter, production welder, abrasive blaster, and Cisco will interview for orders selector. So you will be interviewed right on the spot. Okay, so perfect. So this is one of the events that we run, but we run a lot of different events in different sectors, and we are really looking forward to seeing you there. Okay, I hope that you successfully completed your survey. All right, so I'm going back to that. If you didn't have a chance to scan that, please do that now, because I'm completing now our meeting. And how you can contact us, easy peasy. We have a lot of social media platforms that we are really active in, and you become really active. This is how you are getting connected with Manitoban market. This is how you're becoming successful. Ramir mentioned, I mentioned that again, networking is the key to your success. Don't wait that you will be called and said, we have a job for you. It might happen, but it's happening not that often. So please be active yourself. Comment on LinkedIn, subscribe for different companies, to different companies. Comment, like, connect to people there, right? In different platforms. Go to our website, check, we have a job board there as well. So there is a phone number for Manitoba Start too, and general email. And you also have my personal email too. All right, I think that we are good. We are nearly in time. Thank you for your 3 extra minutes for us. You, everybody did a fantastic job today. Ramir set the great tone. Yeah, also there is a direct link for registering here. You guys, we made it easy for you. You can register here too. I think we're done.